Hey, what the fuck's going on? I've been getting a lot of questions lately, like how do I find photography locations? Where's the best place to look for them, right? I'm gonna tell you quickly 3 main things that I like to do to find locations. First of all, check your Instagram hashtags. Figure out like a place that you want to go to. For example, today I'm here at Cloudgate, which is the big reflective bean here in Chicago. Punch that into Instagram, look at all the photos that have been taken near that location or in that location, and then rock up like I've done now. So I'm here now, and then I'll scout the location. And the last way to find some spots is to look at local photographers in the city that you're in. So if I'm in New York, or if I'm in Chicago, or if I'm somewhere in Japan or something, I'll figure out who are the local photographers from that area, look through their Instagrams, even hit them up and ask them for spots or ask them to go for a shoot with you or something, but always be open-minded to figuring out how am I gonna figure out where to go. Another thing to keep in mind when you're out shooting is to have 1 or 2 locations already scouted out before you even leave your house. So for example, I've come here tonight to Cloudgate to photograph around the area. I'm not even photographing the landmark because there's too many people here tonight. I'd rather come back here at sunrise to take the shot. So let's go explore the area. That's really noticeable compared to Chicago and Melbourne is that their trains, you can go directly down to the back of them and look out. In Melbourne, you can't do that. They just blocked it off, and only the train driver can see directly out the front of the train or directly out the back. Only train drivers can do that, or if you have authority to get inside the cabins. But here in Chicago, you just have a window and you can actually look out, which actually makes for a really good photo and a long exposure. So we're about to jump on a train now and try it. I'm getting really tired right now. When I'm feeling tired, I'm also feeling really hungry. I don't know if I'm feeling more hungry than tired, and I just feel like shit right now. I still want to push through and take more photos tonight. There's still the long exposure shot I want to get out the back of the train, and there's like an S-bend that I think I was talking about earlier. I can't even remember. I'm so hungry. I can't even remember if I told you earlier.
Inbound train.
That's fucking rude. There's one more spot that I want to go tonight. It's a parking garage. Basically, when you shoot out of it, the train goes around like an S-bend, like an S-curve or something. It's like the only part of the city that does it, like on the train line, and it's a really good photo to shoot. I remember I shot it last time I was here, but one of the buildings was still under construction. But now that I've seen on Google Maps, it's completely built. So I'm actually really excited to shoot it, but I'm just hungry and tired. Yeah, I'm fucked. Wait, have a look at this fucking truck. Don't have that shit in Australia. The thing's got 8 fucking wheels on it. Okay, maybe not 8 wheels. I actually wasn't counting how many wheels it had. You need to get into a parking garage to get the shot that we're about to take, which is right over there. So we have to go into there, but I can't remember which level we actually need to go onto to get the shot. Should we just go to the top? Okay, apparently this is a spot. Oh yes, exactly how I remember it. Except that building has been built now, which looks awesome. But what do you reckon? Do you reckon this is still too high?
It depends, because if you want to get the photo of the light trail of the train,
yeah,
you might have to go a bit lower, just because of
I reckon,
how high we are.
Yeah, I reckon that as well. It's always good to shoot a long exposure over the actual light source that you're shooting, right? So kind of you're shooting on a ground level, it can almost be too bright for your camera to intake, right? So if you're above, like a couple levels above your light source, then you get those really nice sharp lines. So we have like heaps of levels we can go up and down, but I think that we're too high up. So we're gonna go down a couple of levels to see if that works any better. I'm gonna keep my shutter open for a couple of seconds, and I'm gonna keep my aperture nice and low. Nice and high? No, small aperture, yeah, small aperture, fuck. I should know this, I'm a photographer for fuck's sake. I'm gonna have an aperture of f8 so I get a nice sharp shot, and then I'm gonna play around with my ISO to see what suits. I think about 1000 ISO or maybe 800 ISO that I wanna go for. I don't really wanna push it any higher than that.
tried a different one though, compared to last time. I had it like you know the normal shot that everyone gets? It's just like the one that you got.
Yeah, right.
I've tried to do it a bit differently. I've tried to get the sort of the train line in the middle of the shot, and then I'm going to Photoshop it so that it's sort of like flipped on the other side as well. Yeah.
I'm keen to see
You can go
that.
check that out on my Instagram.
Alright, that's enough of that. Let's go get some food. Okay, that was a pretty good photo shoot. And I know I say like every photo shoot's a pretty good photo shoot, but it was a really good photo shoot. First spot we went to, we actually, like I said in the start of the video, we went to Cloudgate and we sort of scouted the area. We shot down most of the main streets in that area. And Liam actually got quite a few photos. He got more photos than I did because I was filming him rather than actually taking photos. That's why it's so hard sometimes to make these YouTube videos and take photos at the same times, because you kind of have to be in two different mindsets for it. But anyway, that's why I like traveling with Liam, because one of us can focus on taking photos while the other, one of us fucking who gives a fuck? One of us can fuck me, why am I so fucked right now? I can't say it. You get what I'm trying to say, who gives a fuck? I'm skipping this part. Anyway, after we shot around the street, we hopped onto the train, and before we actually got onto the train, there's a bridge that goes over the train station, and I took this photo here. That's why I like Chicago. I like how the trains are above. Anyway, so I got that, and then we both hopped onto the train, and then shot out the back of the window. Again, this is Liam's photo. I'm just stealing all of his content because I didn't take many photos. I was just like taking video instead. I need two cameras. Fuck. Liam, can you buy me another camera?
Fuck off.
I would suggest, because you obviously can't put a tripod up to the window of the train, have your shutter, if you are going to do this, have your shutter around 1/4 of a second. And I love these kinds of photos because it's got so much symmetry in them. Symmetry and leading lines is one of the main things that I look for in photos, especially when I go out shooting. It's always been what I look for in photos because it's it's not that it's easy to shoot, it's very common because a lot of architects like to build with symmetry or asymmetry at least and leading lines. So it's not a hard thing to find and it's a really nice and satisfying thing to photograph. Finishing up, we hopped off the train and we skated over to the car park and took that classic photo out the whatever the little window gap that there was in the wall or whatever. You know, I don't even know what the name of the spot is. I'm just going to call it the S-bend because that's what it is. It's an S-bend. I'm going to copyright that. So I took this photo right here, which is very generic, and I literally edited it with one click using my presets. But Liam, because he's a hipster fuckwit and wants to be different all the time, he took this shot and then flipped the train track part of it onto the right side of the image, so you had like two trains coming through and two sets of buildings. It's still aesthetically pleasing to look at, but Liam wanted to make it more symmetrical using Photoshop. Fuck me, I love Photoshop. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. That's the end of the video. If you did like this video, leave a like down below and help me out by hitting subscribe. But with that all said and done, I will see you in the next one.
How many followers do you guys have? Wait, how many followers do you have?
What does it matter?
Oh my god, you guys have a lot of people following you.
Oh, okay,
All
this
about
is
the clout.
American mentality, is it?
It is. Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yeah, we're all fucking dumb, you guys.